Welcome to a 4v4. It's an in-house game between the Angry Bears. We've got Zazax, G.I. Joe, Chalky Starfish, and GB Pirate against Cabreza, Effin Newbie, Riffs Bearito, and of course, the one and only, the truly glorious, the proest of all the pros, the beariest of the bears, Napalm. We've got Soviets. U.S. forces, Soviets against Oster, OKW, OKW. And I'm
ready for orders.
Going to be seeing two Kubelwagens making their way straight towards the center fuel. Unusually light forces being sent for the south here at the very beginning. Normally it's a huge fight for the south island. But so far, I'm seeing all forces deployed towards the center fuel. Maybe they're thinking of rotating south after trying to take control of that.
Taking fire! Fuchs Grenadier are on the line. Fuchs Grenadier, ready for action.
Not many engagements happening. Surprisingly enough, for a 4v4, usually it's just total non-stop action, but it's oddly quiet. These riflemen are like, how come we're not being blasted by 1,000 machine guns South Island? Doesn't make any sense. Bunker going up here to defend the central fuel. Sturm Pioneers planting some mines, really shoring up the fences here in the middle with two Kubelwagens available to defend. Conscripts are not able to oorah past that Kubelsark fire. Meanwhile, various forces making their way across the left side. Apparently we have one commander selection. Napalm has gone Lightning War. Nobody else has chosen a commander yet, so Napalm, the only one to choose a commander. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Going with Lightning War. Which is an interesting early choice since its very first feature isn't available until 3 command points. No need to rush things. Kubelwagen takes one AT grenade, but it barely makes it to safety. Oh, they might retreat across the shoe-vine. Oh, barely, narrowly missed it. And I think all 4 players are clustering their forces here in the center. The only point they seem to care about is this fuel point. They are sending nothing anywhere else. All 4 players completely clustered here. Riflemen get a nice flank on the damaged Kubelwagen and take it out completely, which is a shame because Sturm Pioneers were available to repair right here. But I don't really anticipate that rifle squad making it home alive. I don't know, maybe they will. Still have 5 guys available when they retreat, and the red squad of Sturm Pios didn't chase. They also narrowly missed these shoe mines. I don't know, it's gonna be close. Nope. Nope. With all 4 players here, it is very dangerous for lone allied squads to overextend. Just cleaning up squads left and right. But, I mean, look at this map control. They have everything. They've almost cut them off, in fact. They hold all the north, the fuel point in the south. These 2 strategic points are still uncontested. Axis map control is just terrible. Mechanized Regiment HQ going up here. And we'll see a bit of an attempt to take some territory back by that mortar. I think. Maybe. Somebody should probably capture this. Meanwhile, squad of combat engineers is going to go for the cutoff, and the Axis will hold no territory at all. None. Except for this victory point, I guess.
FG-34 heavy machine guns are now being aufgepasst. The combat vehicle has converted to a static building.
Molotov going off. Changes his mind. Trying to throw it again, but he's taking a lot of damage. Nice dodge by Napalm. Conscripts will retreat. And the south remains in Allied hands, but we're going to see a minor attempt to take it back by a Kubelwagen Sturmpio combo. Some mines going down here from combat engineers, probably going to get picked up by the Kubel though. Not sure if you saw that or not. Probably not. It's pretty long distance. The fight for the middle continues. The bunker's doing a good job of keeping Allied infantry off the point. They're pinned. Will not be able to capture. Conscripts force away the infantry here in the center, but more is on its way. Napalm probing the north, gets shut down by one squad of combat engineers, I guess. I don't know why he was forced to retreat there. The mechanized regiment headquarters complete. I think Cobretza is probably going Stuka, but the other two vehicles are equally possible, I suppose. Stuka seems to make the most sense in a 4v4 situation, but I guess we'll see what he decides to do. And the south is getting taken by these various squads. Volksgrenadiers going to take control of the victory point. Combat engineers retreating there. And we've got a Rakettenwerfer making its way to the center with various infantry going to retake control of the fuel. There's not really a whole lot to defend the point. A Maxim doesn't have the AoE suppression that an MG42 does, so they should pretty easily be able to take this. And the fighting position will not survive that Rakettenwerfer for long. Unless it fires at the Maxim and gets suppressed. What is it doing?
Pioneers standing by. Supply Hauptkette is ready for orders. Under heavy MD fire! Suppressive fire!
AA half-track moving on the flank.
Enemy movement on the flank!
There's a Schumann. Oh, Schumann gets detonated though by the autocannon. That was a nasty surprise.
Mechanized flak is ready for action.
And the fight for the center victory point is continuing as well. Allies somehow managing to maintain their hold on it despite not really having anything over here. Just one lieutenant and a conscript squad up against the entire German army apparently. Meanwhile here in the north, pioneers making their way across to take this territory unopposed. Nothing in their way. And the south has been completely taken as well. Thank you also for following Mickey Little. I appreciate it.
Now have access to additional equipment and tactics.
There's way too many grenadiers here. I don't think these conscripts stand any chance of winning, especially at this long range. Ooh, rifle grenades making the engagement even more decisive in their favor despite it not really being necessary. We've got a couple more commander selections now as well. Riss Burrito has gone close air support. Cobretza has gone fortifications. Zazax has gone industry. Interesting. And we've also got armored assault and airborne, so pretty diverse commanders in this 4v4. I don't think a single player has chosen the same commander as one of his teammates. We'll see if FN Newbie breaks the cycle by choosing fortifications. And I'm sort of surprised to see industry in a 4v4. It doesn't really seem like a 4v4 commander because the games tend to be long and you don't really want a manpower penalty in an overly long game. Plus, spamming Soviet core vehicles doesn't seem like it would work that well in a 4v4 because there's just going to be so many effective counters to your units on the field. But if you can make an early enough impact, maybe it'll be worthwhile. AA half-track needs to get a little closer to destroy that bunker with the autocannon, but I guess he doesn't feel comfortable doing so with who knows what kind of AT in the fog of war. Flak half-track making its way up to the front lines as well, so I was wrong. No Stuka, Flak half-track instead. And he's going to, looks like, be utilizing that to continue defending their hold on the center fuel. Meanwhile, the north munitions have been contested. And Napalm is making his way up there to try and turn that situation around. Now, has to dodge a Molotov. Takes one flame crit, but it's nothing disastrous. Meanwhile, a T-70 is making its way up as well. It stops to take out this MG-42 before continuing to harass those grenadiers, which means that they will have enough time to force those conscripts to retreat. But it is on its way, and it should be more than enough to force those grenadiers to retreat, especially with combat engineers nearby for repairs if necessary, and Napalm will retreat immediately upon sight. He did not hit it with a Panzerfaust before retreating, which means it can chase them all the way home. I'm not sure if either of these squads will survive. There's absolutely nothing in their retreat path to defend. Oh, thank you, Hodges. You're a nice person, too. You're a very nice person for donating to me. I appreciate that greatly, thank you.
T-34 ready for combat.
And... oh! Why did he give up the chase? Why? So close.
Squad at full strength. Machine gun!
T-70 moving now to engage this cache. Meanwhile, here in the center flak half track, looks like it's been doing a good job of defending, I guess. The situation of the map has not changed at all. Axis still holds the center fuel. South Island remains uncontested. Oh wait, no it doesn't. Big engagement happening down here. Looks like effing Newbie is the only player with presence down here. His Kugelwagen gets taken out by a lot of conscripts. Or I guess it's not that much. It looks like a lot, but really that's his entire army. Chalky Starfish's whole army is just 4 squads. Takes control of the south fuel and should be able to get total control of the south. But he won't be able to push beyond the river thanks to the placement of this tier 4 structure. He's got a T-70 of his own down here as well. Meanwhile, in the north, Panzer IV has been fielded by Napalm. Takes the T-70 out easily enough. Fields some fresh grenadiers as well to replace his losses. And we've also got M1919 paratroopers firing on a mortar. Oh no! What was that mortar doing right there?
Team has been killed.
Poor Grenadenwerfer. Will probably get stolen, or just sit there for the rest of the game. Since leaving your precious, precious cover on these maps doesn't generally go very well. Allied infantry forced to retreat by Napalm's Panzer IV. Meanwhile, a T-34 dominating the north, forcing Axis infantry to retreat. And they're going to make their way towards the center victory point. Grenadiers moving to counter. Oh, what was that noise? Something hit a mine? No. Okay. I thought the Panzer IV might have hit a mine. But it clears out the fighting position, wipes out the rear echelon troops, makes its way up the hill to start taking out some of these Soviet team weapons. Soviet Axis anti-infantry strafe gets something. And apparently there's 2 Katyushas on the field that haven't even fired. What is G.I. Joe doing with these? Just got 2 Katyushas just sitting there? Well, that's a little weird. Oh wait, this one has fired, but it like totally missed. It has like a tiny little sliver of veterancy. Okay. Never mind. G.I. Joe has gone shock motor. So by spending this much fuel on Katyushas, well, they have 44 coming in, so I guess fuel's not a huge concern for them. I mean, if you actually look at the map, we've got fuel caches on every strategic point, I think. Except for the central ones. Oh no, there isn't one there either. Or here. So the Axis have actually been pretty lazy about throwing up fuel caches, but the Allies have not. They've got fuel caches on all 4 of their strategic points by their base. So their fuel income is definitely quite high.
Awaiting command.
And the industry player has 57 coming in. He's probably barely going to be able to keep up with his own fuel income with his reduced manpower.
The enemy is reduced to 200 points. Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
The T-34 here in the south may not be enough against Raketenwerfer and 2 Panzerschrecks, plus Obersoldaten behind should be easily able to mop up any conscripts. So it doesn't look too good for the Allies here, but that demo charge could turn things around, especially if he keeps his forces very clumped as he makes his way towards that fuel point. He's clearly trying to bait him into that demo charge before engaging. 2 mines in the path as well, but neither one of them got triggered, and they take a route that doesn't quite put them on the demo charge, so none of the Soviet defenses really played out. This mine should work though. There are so many mines down here. Holy crap. 3 in the capture circle. Ooh. 2 overs taken out by that. 2 mines right there in that little road. Meanwhile in the north, industry starting to show itself a little bit. T-34 is making their way up towards the victory point and using secure mode to take control of it. Secure mode's usefulness really starts to show when your entire army is tanks. That's not the case yet, but it probably will be later. Just being very shy about capturing this fuel point. Meanwhile, Panzer IV being engaged by the Jackson needs to pull back. It hits Vet 2 though, which is good. But it needs to be careful. It just fell quite low to that Jackson shot. Pulls back for some repairs. Pathfinders show their face in the middle for a little too long, getting blasted by overs. And another AA half-track is available here, and a Katyusha is opening up on the center formations. And lands a few good hits here and there, but no squad wipes. And in the center, a Maxim plus stolen MG42 will continue to hold the victory points. As far as victory points, the Allies have a massive lead. 455 to 135. The Axis really need to turn that around. And they're trying, but they really need to not just slow the clock, but actually take control of the clock at this point if they want to stand any chance of winning this game.
Structure complete. Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Axis making a push for the center victory point now, but quickly pushed away. Napalm didn't really spread his troops there. Got suppressed and forced to make a full retreat, and retreating takes like 1,000,000 years on this huge map. It's a pretty big deal. If he had just led the way with his tank instead of his grenadiers, might have gone a little differently. Now he has to disengage because it doesn't know what kind of AT might get fielded if he pushes aggressively, and it doesn't have any grenadiers available to support. Panther here, another demo charge on the victory point. He must have seen that getting planted though, because he's trying to swing wide. And oh, there's actually a Maxim and a mortar up on the ridge there defending. So they're going to get suppressed. Meanwhile, the Panzer IV and Panther are going to move in here, trying to take control of this victory point finally, but 2 Su-85s plus 3 T-34s is going to be a lot for one lone Panther to take on. Probably more than it can handle, and that Grenadier squad stands no chance and gets wiped.
Grenadier squad at full strength.
As for the south victory point, the Axis still hold. It looks like they have a pretty secure hold on it. It's just effing Noob down here, but he's got 2 Raketenwerfers available and a squad of overs, as long as he doesn't hit any of these sneaky mines. There's not really very many forces down here to contend with him at all. And he just lost his T-70 to the Raketenwerfer as well, losing control of the south fuel.
Another vehicle vehicle has been lost in the defense of the
Again,
Rodina.
they need to get a victory point under control.
Soviet HQ now includes a field hospital, but only for those who are seriously wounded.
Both Katyushas barraging this bunker, and it looks like it will go down. Or not. Just kidding. That last spread was way off. The North Victory Point is only defended by a demo charge and 2 team weapons. That's not that much. Then again, there's a lot of Soviet tanks available to support any engagements for either one. The Axis are not going to have an easy time taking either of those. As far as late game options, FNubi's pretty far away from his Jagdtiger. It's only 20 minutes in the game.
Powers that be have granted us IS-2
And
heavy
I
tanks.
think he built some core units.
We are taking fire!
Napalm will have access. Wait, he does definitely have access to Tigers. He's floating like crazy. But apparently he's only got 8 command points. Guess he just hasn't been engaging that much. Zazax has 10. Chalky Starfish has 11. FNubi has almost 11. Napalm has the least command points on his team, so even though he's floating like crazy, he can't spend it. That is a massive amount of resource for him, though.
The enemy has killed another infantry squad.
Axis briefly lose control of the south and are not going to be able to retake it if they don't make a play soon. As for the center, there are 2 demo charges in the capture circle. But they're not standing in the capture circle, they're just engaging and not engaging very well. Retreating past the demo charge, but he does not detonate it. If they don't move up into this capture circle soon, they're going to run out of time. Napalm making a push with Rispirito up here in the north, but it doesn't look like it's going very well. Panzer IV and Panther should be able to get rid of those team weapons, and anti-infantry strafe suppresses a few things as well. Oh, that demo charge is pretty good. He got half the Grenadiers, but it's not enough to stop him from capturing the point. The Panther is doing well against the T-34s, which rather than engaging, are disengaging. I really think if they just went in hard on that Panther, they, well, might do okay, but you really do need to be careful about throwing your tanks away as industry because of your reduced manpower income. Panther is falling rather low. One of the T-34s goes down, and a Jackson moves up from the back to take out the Panther. Very nice play by that Jackson. Panther got a little too bold and does go down, but the Axis still hold the north victory point. They've lost the south, unfortunately, and this IS-2 shows no sign of being taken out by a lone Panther. Although a Panzerschreck is moving up to support, and the center victory point is still in the midst of a bloody fight. Lots of infantry getting taken out by Stuka close air support. The 2 demo charges are sort of weirdly placed. Molotov on a heavily wounded oversquad could wipe it. Oh, almost. Almost. And another, oh no, an Su-85 got destroyed by Panzer IV here. And now a Stuka dive bomb is landing somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Oh! On 2 Katyushas! Oh no! He wasn't paying attention, and the Stuka dive bomb just took out 2 Katyushas. I don't know if that's going to be enough of a springboard for the Axis to get back into this game, though. Only 31 points remain. Dropping an MG-34 certainly doesn't help. Anti-infantry strafe pins down some conscripts, I guess. I'm not sure what that really accomplished. Panzer IV going in. Su-85 is available to defend, though. Oh, he's taking so much damage. Takes an AT grenade. Demo charge wipes one of the Grenadier squads. That went terribly for Napalm.
German fighter plane!
Very poorly. Stuka dive bomb being called in again by Rispirito in this area. Wiping out the MG-42. And a lot of Grenadiers making their way into this capture circle. That demo charge, though, it's not being detonated. Why not? Definitely could have wiped 2 squads. Not really anymore. Not really a whole lot of anti-infantry to get rid of these grenadiers now. Free to just make their way forward. Clear up various team weapons and conscripts, wiping squads left and right. Meanwhile, the north is being retaken by the Allies, but the south is in the midst of a huge battle. Assault artillery being dropped on the point, smoke being used to cover for a Tiger and Panther making their way up to the front line. Not very many Allied forces available to defend here. The Panther and Tiger will be more than enough to get rid of this lone T-34, although conscripts are available here to at least try to damage some engines. An IL-2 Sturmovik gets called in on those overs and deals decent damage, but there's a lot more infantry available to support from the rear. Ooh, what was that? Oh, an IS-2 makes its way back down to the south. This is a fresh IS-2, actually, and the Panther will get taken out. Panther goes down. Tiger may or may not choose to engage here. I don't know if there are any more mines available to support, but a lot of infantry is in the capture circle, and they will decapture the point. There are now only 12 points remaining for the Axis. Allies have taken control of the center, Axis have taken control of the south. The center, or the bottom point is now white, so the clock is stopped, and a second Tiger makes its way down here to engage the IS-2, which is now cruise shocked. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna get away. Oh, shots bouncing, it might make it. And there it goes, it gets clear. Napalm didn't chase as aggressively as he could have. Probably thought it was gonna die for sure. And he lets that IS-2 slip through his fingers. He'll have to satisfy himself with this fuel cache. Engagement happening now for the center. This could be just as decisive an engagement. If the Allies take this, the game could end. Panther going in on a KV-2 here. Su-85 getting shots off on that Panther, though. KV-2 gets a huge hit, main gun destroyed on the Panther. And there it goes. Panther is taken out by Su-85s, which continue to be a very formidable anti-tank defense here in the center. Trying to crush these grenadiers before they can cap, but they do take control of the center VP before being forced to retreat. Delaying, stalling, doing whatever it takes to keep the game from ending. Stuka close air support gets called in, or no, anti-tank strafe. Katyusha barrage trying to clear up these grenadiers. They will leave the capture circle. KV-2 wipes one of the squads. Panzerfaust go off, and even a frontal hit will destroy the KV-2's engine, leaving it quite vulnerable. And there's a Jagdtiger making its way to the front lines, as well as a PaK-43 under construction. That could be the end of that KV-8, or KV-2 actually, thanks to another anti-tank strafe. And the planes are going nuts. That's actually close air support and the anti-tank strafe. All kinds of abilities being called in. The Axis hold on the south is quite strong now. Panzer Fusiliers threw down Obersoldaten threw down a booby trap here on the south victory point. Lots of defenses available down here. Tellermine's going as well. So the main point of contention here is the center VP. Allies doing what they can to try and take control. The PaK-43 is constructed. Jagdtiger has made its way up to support, and it looks like the Allies have been completely pushed off this point. And the north is being harassed as well by this squad of pioneers. Which means that the Allies are now going to have to make a coordinated push for 2 victory points simultaneously and take them just for a few seconds to end this game. I don't know if that's going to be possible, though. They have lost a lot, but they've inflicted a lot of losses as well. Panthers have been taken out all over the field. I can't even count the number of Grenadier squads of infantry that have been taken out by those Katyushas. Not to mention the KV-2s. Oh! Not sure why he's trying to crush with a KV-2. His gun is a lot more effective than its treads. But yeah, I mean, this is what Soviet industry does to you. You find that you are floating fuel like crazy and just have no manpower. Especially in a 4v4 where you're not really that short of fuel anyway. especially with all these fuel caches and everything. I think that industry commander is not really paying off. Although the KV-2 is nice to have, which is why maybe it makes more sense to just wait until you have 12 command points and then pick the commander if you're in a 4v4, but I don't know.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
Pioneers taking control of the North munitions, and things are eerily quiet. Allies need to regroup for their next push. We do see 3 Katyushas here from G.I. Joe. You should be able to utilize those to soften up their opponent's defenses, clearing out the Pak-43 and other various team weapons here in the center before a big push by the Allied tanks, although he is firing blind. What was that? Oh, anti-tank strafe. Just nailed something. A Katyusha. One of the 3 Katyushas got taken out. Yet another IS-2 has been fielded. I'm actually not even sure which one this is. Probably the one that got away by a sliver there in the south, making its way up here towards the center. They need to focus all of their forces on a big push for the 2 victory points up here. The fact that their opponent has so many heavy tanks and elite infantry squads tied up here just defending the south VP means that if all 4 of them coordinate an attack for these 2 victory points, they could win this. They only need 2 victory points for a very short time to seal the deal. And it looks like that's what they're trying to coordinate here. Sending the IS-2 there for the north, KV-2 support. There are 2 Katyushas still available to soften things up, and all the Allied infantry, American tanks, everything is making its way up here towards the north. Honestly, they should bring the field guns too. They need to bring everything, all their forces, pull out all the stops and try and end this game in one decisive final push. IS-2 takes a bit of a peek here. IL-2 Sturmovik gets called in to soften up infantry formations. 2 machine guns defending will keep those combat engineers at bay for a while. No push for the center yet. Assault artillery is getting called in here. Anti-tank strafes, Stuka close air support, all kinds of scary abilities being dropped on this Allied armor. It needs to be careful. I don't know what the Stuka close air support is going to target over here, but whatever it is, it's going to take a lot of damage. Assault artillery has begun to fall on a lot of stuff. Katyusha's firing towards the center now. Ooh, he was firing at this Grenadier formation, but it was a little off target. He does wipe 1 squad, but I feel like that was a bit of a waste of 2 Katyusha barrages. The Jagdtiger making its way up to try to support. Meanwhile, just everything's exploding. So much chaos and havoc here in the north as they desperately attempt to take control of the north victory point. German infantry is retreating. The Jagdtiger has yet to get a decent shot off, and it looks like the Allies were successful in taking this VP. Will they be able to keep the momentum going and take control of this one? They need the Katyushas to clear the Pak-43. That is the highest priority. If they do that, then they can circle strafe the Jagdtiger to death with the Jacksons and IS-2. They need to make a big coordinated push, and they need to do it soon. Napalm has kind of sensed what's happening. He sends one of his Tigers up sort of generally towards the middle, but he's just kind of defending the fuel. I still feel like the Axis are overcommitting forces to the south when it's quite clear that the Allies have no intention of attacking here. They could probably just build a bunker or 2 and let the rest of these forces move to help defend in the center and north. They're kind of gambling a little bit and hoping that this is going to be enough to hold. Heard another dive bomb. I don't know where it landed. It doesn't look like anything too catastrophic happened though. Most of the critical Allied vehicles are still alive over here. They need to push. They really do. Pak-43 is well faced for this engagement, knew exactly what direction their opponent was going to be coming from. It gets 2 shots off, but one actually bounces. Look at that. Katyushas need to clear that thing out now. This is the time. This is the time for the decisive engagement. Pak-43 turning about. Jagdtiger also still available. What are all these vehicles doing? They need to push.
Soldiers have pinpointed The enemy
Oh, that IS-2 just took a ton of damage. They have a little bit of vision. Now the Katyushas are firing, but the timing on this engagement was all wrong. They all needed to engage at the same time. Pak-43 is now clear. IS-2 moving up to engage, but it's alone. The other one's heavily damaged. Jagdtiger will be more than enough to force that thing away. There's also lots of repair power over here. We've got a bunch of Pioneers available to work on that Jagdtiger. The Pak-43 just got recruited, but Napalm gets a little too brave with his Tiger. Stuka close air support nails one of the Jacksons, but the second one here should be able to finish that Tiger off with P-47 support, and there it goes. Stuka dive bomb being called in on something up here in the north. Just a bunch of conscripts. Practically all of those squads get wiped. The Pak-43 is getting great shots off on all of this stuff. Look at the damage. It's almost Vet 2 already, even after getting cleared out one time, and the Stuka close air support will take out yet another tank. The IS-2 is pulling back for some repairs. This one's been fully repaired, the other one still awaiting. And the P-47 is going to continue flying around and taking shots at various forces here. And we have a bit of a flank by these two KV-2s coming in straight through the middle. Lieutenant with his M1919 and BAR will force that Obersoldaten squad to retreat, and it looks like this could be the end of the game. If something doesn't move up to counter this soon, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Panther moving around on the flank. The Jagdtiger's way out of position. Volksgrenadiers desperately pushing for the capture circle now. They do stop the capture of this point. The Panther is destroyed by sustained fire from the KV-2s, and a Stuka bomb run is being dropped somewhere over here. Oh, it's dropped directly on the capture circle. Not sure what that was even aimed at, but okay. And a lone Volksgrenadier squad will retreat as Obersoldaten move up to replace them and try and take that point. Pioneers are making a desperate push for the north, which they suspect to be undefended, and they are correct, except for these mines. Jacksons and IS-2 moving up on the Jagdtiger, which is caught overextended and unsupported. Crude days, rear armor hits from the IS-2. Jackson destroys the main gun, and it's destroyed by the Tiger, which misses a shot. All allied armor changing targets now. A King Tiger is rumbling onto the field. And they're just desperately slugging it out for this victory point. This is such a critical engagement. They need things to turn in their favor. All shots are bouncing on both sides. The KV-2 has set up an indirect fire mode to try and take out some of these Axis team weapons and clear the way for Allied infantry to take control of the center VP. Another dive bomb is being dropped somewhere, probably on these conscripts. They need to move. But they do not, and the dive bomb will wipe the squad, and the capture circle will fall to the Axis again. Meanwhile, the north is being taken by these Pioneers, and a Tiger has hit a mine and has a destroyed engine up there, but is otherwise unopposed.
ready for panzer busting.
Stuka close air support coming in on the KV-2 will damage the main gun loader, and the King Tiger should be able to force it away, I think. Ooh. Pak-43 has been recruited and turned about to fire on the KV-8 or KV-2, and it is destroyed. The Allies had a brief glimmer of hope there in the north, almost took control of the 2 points simultaneously, but the Axis somehow pushed back that huge assault with massive amounts of coordinated artillery fire. It looks like all the Axis heavy tanks are going to get cleaned up. Or all the Allied heavy tanks are going to get cleaned up, although here in the north, a small victory for the Allies, taking out that Tiger and forcing a retreat from the various Pioneer squads, and the Stuka dive bomb just killed all the Pioneers. Whoops. Grenadiers being suppressed by an AA half-track and forced to retreat by the KV-2. Another Tiger makes its way up here to the north as quickly as possible to prevent the planting of new mines and try and prevent the capture of this point, although it makes little difference either way. And the victory points haven't pulled even yet. There's still 100 points on the board for the Axis to get rid of before they're in the clear. Allies are not making it easy for them by any means. Katyushas really need to clear out this Pak-43 permanently. They seem to be struggling to do so. There sure are a lot of them, though. Bleeding the Axis hard in between engagements. My Pack 43 is going to be completely destroyed soon. There's not even anything available to repair it. Bomb run, interesting choice. Should have dropped that on the Pack 43. Not sure what the deal was with that.
Enemy down to 100 points.
Panther getting a little bold here. He wants to kill those Katyushas, which find themselves caught way out of position. What are they doing? One goes down, second one will be soon to follow. There they go. Both Katyushas destroyed, and that's a huge loss for the Allies. They really need that indirect fire to take out these fortified Axis positions. Tiger moving up now to defend. Allies are trying to make a big push for the center, but they need to be careful, and they need to try to time their pushes so that all their forces just smash into the victory points simultaneously. They're being a little too timid with the IS-2s while these infantry pay the price. Stuka dive bomb is falling now, and boom, there goes that airborne squad. Conscripts trying to move up to do what they can, and an ISU-152 has been fielded as well, taking shots with high explosive rounds at various infantry formations. The tanks have to be careful because the Pack 43 still lives. They have to do something about that thing. So many tools at the Allies' disposal, but they're not using them. They need to drop a bomb run on that. G.I. Joe has 800 munitions he could be using to blow that thing up, and yet it survived this entire time. Why? It just doesn't make any sense. The Allies lose so many men trying to take the victory point, but all they can do is decap it. Meanwhile, here in the north, the top is completely undefended. Those combat engineers should be able to get the point under control. Paratroopers dropped on the flank to force a retreat from MG-42, but that Tiger is going to force another retreat in kind. Whoa! What is this assault? IS-2 going way too deep. Whoa, did you see how fast that Pack 43 just rotated? What the hell? Oh, wow! I think that's some sort of bug associated with a vet bonus stacking when it gets crewed and decrewed and recrewed and keeps getting the vet over and over again. Which just goes to show that they really need to destroy that thing, because now it can apparently, like, instantly rotate. And there you have it, GG being called. The Allies are not going to be able to push and take the victory points back after bringing their opponents down to only 12 VPs remaining. All of the coordinated pushes they could muster were not enough. And the Tiger gets abandoned, icing on the cake.
Push the attack. They are down to 10 points.
There's an Allied Tiger now defending the north. Vet 5, Pack 43 that can turn around instantly. That is a scary thing to behold, indeed. Look at that. That is insane. That's not a bug you see very frequently because most people are able to actually destroy the Pack 43, but I guess if your opponent just lets you continue vetting it up and recrewing it and vetting it up over and over again, that's what happens. Kind of an obscure bug, but fun to see it make an appearance in this game. GG. Axis wins.